Don't touch that dial now. We're just getting started.
So hey guys, you guys remember that video I posted last week about the state of play? How I thought it was a clown show? Well, somebody didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that I was giving my opinion about something that really bothers me. Now, when I make these videos, when I make videos about the video game industry or PlayStation, I am going to I'm going to look at the actual general community sentiment when it comes to certain events like this. Now, if you're on X or if you're on any type of gaming board, basically like NeoGAF, System Wars, I don't know if that's still a thing, Icon Era, such and such, IGN, whatever, you know there is a general consensus that there's more Sony PlayStation fanboys than there are Xbox fanboys, and to me, my opinion, whenever I hop on these actual sites to take a look at things, is usually the loudest people are the PlayStation fanboys, and I always say that. I'm like, of course, Xbox has some pretty annoying fucking people, PC and Nintendo, they all have annoying people, but when I take a look at the most part, the most that's in my algorithms, or whenever I hop on these message boards, it's always the PlayStation guys that's actually way more louder than the rest, and they're actually more toxic, to the point where we've seen in some cases people are actually getting doxxed, which is not cool, by the way. I don't know why we're doxing people over video games or plastic boxes and participating in this console war. And I know you're saying it's hypocritical, but I talk about the console war, but it's actually pretty interesting to me, considering the fact whenever I was a part of this whole system war conversation, it was during the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 days. There's always been system wars forever. Well, you might call them the console wars. It's been around ever since the first pixel was on the machine and some other company decides to make another machine that puts pixels on the machine. There's always been stuff like that. It's as there's this tribal mentality that my product is better than your product, and at the end of the day, it's these billion-dollar corporations that's actually sticking their hands up your asses to pull on your tongue, so they can get the money out of your wallet, basically. There's nothing secret about that, right? But some people feel like they have to actually protect the queen. When I say the queen, I mean the billion-dollar publisher or the plastic box that they decided to own. Now, in most cases, and I'm going to say it, I'm very fortunate. I do have all the systems. I have all the retro systems. I have a really nice PC, VR, all the main big three, Nintendo Switch, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. I didn't buy a PlayStation Pro. I said I don't need that because they're still making games on PlayStation 4. There's not really been very many games that actually took advantage of the PS5 Pro. I'm not saying it's not better. Obviously, it's a good machine. If you're going to spend $700, you kind of hope that you actually get the bang for your buck, but lately there's not really been anything that's actually justified it, to me anyways. You know, my opinion's subjective, so I mean, you might look at it like, yeah, it's the best thing ever. I don't see the point. And there's a lot of people that see the same thing, especially some of the bigger gaming journalism sites, if we can call gaming journalism even relevant, considering the fact that there's just a bunch of retards that push propaganda and whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I made that video about the state of play because, you know, there was a lot of hype around it, right? There was a lot of hype around it. There was on X, if you hopped on there, and I spent a lot of time on X. And I have myself surrounded with a lot of people that are fighting the console wars. And state of play is, to me, and I've been watching these things since the beginning, right? I was there for E3 back in the day, watching all the press conferences that are live, whether it was on G4 or was streaming it. Then I was watching the directs, the state of plays, the Xbox showcases, the director directs, and all that stuff. And to me, I always look forward to them because I always got to see games that I was looking forward to. You know, especially back in the E3 days, I was looking forward to all these things. And of course, there are smaller little programs, like some of the Nintendo Directs. And basically, whenever Nintendo started doing this, when they've already started going through and just doing digital press conferences or whatever, and just uploading a video showing everything that's coming out, pretty much everybody else followed, and that was the death of E3. We still have Gamescom and TGS and CES. CES isn't really a huge thing for games, but there is some stuff there, and there's other things like Devolver Digital stuff and whatnot, and then you have Summer Game Fest and the fake awards show, the VGAs. But anyways, I've been following this stuff forever, and there was actually a comment on the video that I made. If you guys remember, I made the video, what the hell happened with the PlayStation State of Play, and I called it a clown show. Well, one thing you have to realize is anytime you say something negative about PlayStation, prepare to get berated by the most retarded people possible. Some of the most shitty, stupid takes you can even think of. And it's basically just, I gotta save McQueen. I have to fight for my billion-dollar publisher. I don't know why. I play video games on everything. Obviously, I talk about more Xbox than anything because it's more relevant to me, because I play video games on everything, like my PC, my phone, my Asus ROG Ally, so me having that ecosystem makes sense for me. But some people are stuck, and some people are not fortunate to have all the systems, or some people just not going to happen to. Usually, you get bombarded with people saying things like 75 million consoles sold, or a laughing emoji, or GIF, and a clown emoji, or just something stupid. They like threaten you or try to dox you, or over video games. And I don't know why. I don't know why we're doxing each other over video games. Really stupid to me. And considering the fact I covered First Amendment auditors, it's really silly to me that this is still happening in 2025. That people, 30, 40, 50-year-olds, are fighting over plastic boxes. And then they'll call you a loser for not liking the other box. And you actually have guys like Japan hates Xbox, that makes his thing every single day. Even Crap Gamer, they get on every single day on X. They post the same thing every day. Xbox is bad. I hate Xbox. They tag Phil Spencer. Everybody hates Xbox. And it's like this marching orders from some drone army of people. But their only personality, their only existence is to talk about PlayStation like they're getting paid, which they're probably not, which makes me wonder why the fuck you're doing this in the first place. But there are some people who do get paid for it, obviously, but most likely not these guys. They usually have 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers or something like that. And nobody, here's the thing, these billion-dollar companies, they don't really give a fuck about you. I'm just going to tell you, they don't care. It doesn't matter what flag you hold up in the air. The only thing they care about is their bottom line. It's how many controllers they can put in your hand, how many games they can sell, how many plastic boxes they can sell, how many microtransactions, shitty services and everything, what can get the money from you. And you kind of fall for it for some reason. Some people fall for it as if it's like some kind of religion, which really doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because you're worshiping a plastic box and a company that doesn't give a damn about you. But anyways, I made that video, and somebody actually took problem with it. And I stated in the video the things that I did like, the things that I didn't like, and I also talked about the fanboys that are hyping this up for things they expected. Like the God of War remastered trilogy, or the new God of War coming out, the Bloodborne remaster, the Xbox games like Halo and Gears showing up, and other first-party IPs like Intergalactic and whatever else, Last of Us 3. Somebody even went and said Super Mario coming day and date. Which, a lot of people look at these actual these events like this is the next big thing, and there's a lot of people hyping this shit up, and it's verifiably easy to look this stuff up, right? It's not hard to see it. And one of the comments I had was really interesting to me, was right here, and I'll just go ahead and read some of this. And all this shit, I've known this, and I even stated it in the video, and this guy acts like I don't know, questioning my intelligence. Anyways, let's go take a look. You do understand SOP has never been a place they show off first party, right? Wrong. Let's go ahead and take a look right here. Easy Google search. You can actually find this stuff out right now. Here on IGN, which, take whatever IGN says with a grain of salt, because it is what it is. That's all we got. That's all we got, unless you're taking a look at independent media, which, by the way, you should. You should not look at these corporate clowns that push propaganda in your face all day long, or attack gamers and whatever. They don't care about you either. It's just a stronghold of echo chamber losers that drink their own piss and scent their own farts and write about video games and put something about transgenderism or racism or hating white people or whatever in it so they can get pats on their backs. But anyways, right here, IGN, PlayStation State of Play, every showcase and major game announcement since 2019. Now, the guy is right in a way. There's a lot of indie titles and second-party published titles that are shown here. But the guy basically said there's never really, again, we'll take a look right here, it's never been a place where they've shown off first-party, which, again, you must not know anything about the industry if you're making that statement. And, you know, in some cases, you can look on the PlayStation blog right here, and some of this stuff is right. He's not completely wrong. But right here, like, he's just saying it seems like you're not even in the Sony fan base, which, by the way, I would beg to differ, and I can show you and prove that verifiably, which if you even go back on my community post, you can see everything that I do. I actually one of those guys that don't just talk about video games and actually play them, well, and buy them and support them while you guys cry over 75 million sells or 30 million sells or whatever. I actually play games, unlike you. But anyways, I will tell you what SOP are. And by the way, this is like broken English. And was and is today. SOP started out as just showing off indie titles, then branched into third party, and nowadays they show off indie, third party, and for the last thing, the moment they show off one first party. But it seems like you knew that, right? Yes, I knew that. But if you take a look, like I said, easy, verifiably easy thing to do. Just hop on Google, YouTube, NeoGAF, whatever gaming site you want. You just look this shit up, and you find what you said is completely flawed. You had things like Days Gone back in 2019 showing off, Predator Hunting Grounds, and of course right here you take a look. There's like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was third party, Medieval, which was first party, Last of Us 2 got its thing back in 2019. Let's keep on going here. Dreams, Ghost of Tsushima. 2020, more Ghost of Tsushima. 2020, Last of Us Part 2. See, let's take a look here. The 2020 PS5 showcase, Astro's Playroom, Demon's Souls, Sackboy, pretty much everything was dedicated to PlayStation. August 2020 State of Play, Godfall, Bugsnax, The Pathless, September 2020. Again, Hogwarts Legacy, God of War Ragnarok was teased for the first time. The Demon's Souls State of Play. Again, these games are first party, and there are some games that are third party and indie games. You're not completely wrong, but you're absolutely not right when you're saying that these state of plays are not dedicated to first party and people shouldn't expect that. That's verifiably wrong, and you can take a look at all the shit. It's there. They covered different things. See, you had the Horizon Forbidden West State of Play. Keep going. Death Stranding Director's Cut was given a release date. You had Deathloop. Ragnarok again, Spider-Man 2 was announced, Wolverine was announced, Knights of the Old Republic. You keep going. Let's keep going. I could do this all fucking day, so let's continue and just show how wrong you are. Gran Turismo 7 on February 2022, Exoprimal, the Ophil Valkyrie, Returnal Ascension was a free update that was shown off there in May. March, I'm sorry, you had your Hogwarts Legacy, which, by the way, they also do these state of plays where they actually show off, like, just games in general, like one game specifically, whether it be a first party or third party or second party or indie game. They'll actually do this, and Nintendo and Xbox does the same thing. The Xbox Developer Direct, or developer, whatever we called it, it was basically that, and there was a surprise with the Ninja Gaiden stuff. That was actually something we didn't know that was coming out, but everything else was there. We already knew it was coming out. And they were just showing gameplay, and they had interviews with the developers. So nothing new there, right? And a lot of people saying that the state of play was better than that, which, by the way, it's not even the same thing at all. Like, at all. That wasn't a place to really announce new games. But there was a game that was announced, but there's other showcases bigger than that. Just like PlayStation, they have their bigger ones too, but the state of play is usually... I am hitting the wrong damn button. I am hitting the wrong damn button. But we keep on going through. Let's take a look. There's a lot of remasters here. Final Fantasy 16, the State of Blade with Stellar Blade, Rise of the Ronin, Tekken 8. Let's see, they had the stuff for the DualShock. Let's keep going. PSVR 2 shit. This was Final Fantasy 16. Ghost Runner, Fair Games, Foam Stars, Helldivers, Phantom Blade, Spider-Man 2. The list can go on. Basically, everything the guy was saying was wrong right there. Like, people looked forward to these things because this is something that's historically happened. There's always been a case for first-party IP to be shown at these big events. And the event was 45 minutes long. It was packed with games. But like I said, it was mostly third-party. There was some stuff in there. I'm not going to lie. There was some stuff in there. Like you had the gameplay for Days Gone Remastered. Again, PlayStation this whole generation, and I'm just going to say the whole generation in general for next gen, that encompasses Xbox and PlayStation, has been totally underwhelming. There's not really been that big game, and it's disappointing because, you know, they have all these sales for these systems. Xbox only maybe half of that or less. There's not been very many big games, right? Just haven't been. Big first-party IP that we've been looking forward to. And the fact that games are still cross-gen, for the most part, kind of speaks a lot about this. But anyways, we went through this stuff before. I mean, we've seen, and I even said in this stuff, and I'll take a look too. This guy didn't even watch the video, by the way. He didn't even watch it, and he actually verifies that because whenever I said, hey, yes, I know what it is. Because he said I didn't know what it was. I said this was a way to hype fanboys up as a reason it was made. Why are you so upset? Go tell fanboys to lower their expectations every time one of these is announced. Says you're the one making a cry video, which I'm not. I made a video stating exactly how I feel about it. The guy didn't watch it. If you go down here, I'm not going to watch someone's who cares what fanboys thinks. Why don't you make a video and state what I liked and enjoyed, which I did, which he would have known that if he would have watched the video. And he said it was too toxic, and I covered that too, by the way. I even covered that. Everything in that video he is trying to tell me to say is there. He's wanting me to make a video basically saying, hey, it was great. I loved it. It was amazing. It was the best. It was right here. It just says here, don't let people make your mind up. If you like the SOP or whatever, your video should say SOP banger after banger, new IPs. But you're just saying what fanboys think and it's sad. Good day. Why? And right here, again, dude, why don't you make a video saying SOP is great? It was not. It wasn't great. Why should I have to make a video for you specifically to say I liked something or wasn't disappointed to me or lie to everybody and say it was absolutely amazing, bangers everywhere, first party IP, PlayStation's where to go, Xbox is dead, Nintendo sucks dicks, whatever. PC, MR, get out of here, Steam Deck, everybody hates you, shitbox. Blah, 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 Xbot dead, everything. No, I'm not going to do that, obviously. I'm not going to do that. And considering the fact that we already talked about this a second ago, you had stuff like this on X. And he talks about how there's actually toxicity in gaming already, but never hops on these websites like X or the comment section to verify these things. And stuff like this, you'll say PlayStation fans will be eating good when Phil Spencer brings all Xbox games over to your PlayStation. Which, by the way, Xbox has been dead for 20 years since it actually came upon this earth, since Bill Gates came out in the rock, showing off the Xbox for the first time. It was already dead on arrival. There's never been any Xbox games. There's no such thing as an Xbox game. So I don't know how the PlayStation is getting Xbox games when they don't exist. And by the way, for the most part, the games that has come out, you guys shit on them anyways, because they're not PlayStation. They're not something that Neil Druckmann grabbed out of their asshole and say, hey, look at this. Lesbians. No, you're not. You're not. Obviously, there's video games for Xbox, but for some odd reason, for the last 20 years, they never existed. So I don't know what the thing is. Like, they're like, PlayStation's getting all the Xbox games, but there's never been Xbox games. And it's going to be really funny whenever they do come on PlayStation. They're going to be the most played games, the most paid for games. You're not going to tell me that Halo and Gears and Forza is not going to sell gangbusters on a PlayStation and Nintendo. Obviously, they're actually being played more than actual games on PlayStation primary. I play my PlayStation, guys. I play PlayStation for first-party experiences and experiences I can't get anywhere else. Same with Nintendo and Xbox. I mean, I get it. I get it. It's coming everywhere. But I still like the ecosystem. I have a huge library there. I've always liked Xbox. I play everything. And obviously, I don't really understand this whole sentiment like Xbox is dead or Xbox has no games when there's video games. And I don't understand why you can't look at your billion-dollar company of preference or plastic box and demand better. Man, all these games are getting canceled. We're getting remasters of PlayStation 4 games. Games are still coming out on PS4. We have a $700 machine, the PS5 Pro. Yes, it's cool, it's powerful, it's great, but it's not working the way people would expect. I mean, that's been verifiable too. But nobody wants to hold PlayStation accountable. They just want to attack Xbox, and the only thing they can say is whenever Xbox does something good, or if there's more people playing an Xbox game, the only thing they'll say is Astrobot was GOTY and 75 million consoles were sold. That's the only thing. It's the default NPC talking points. It's the way it is, and these people are so smug, like X Volt, I believe. The dude is so smug, it should be a fucking hate crime. Like, it's just the way it is. These guys are clowns. Whenever I say clown show, when I talk about toxicity in video games, it's usually the PlayStation guys, because it's verifiably easy to look up. All you have to do is hop on X for a second, and you'll see that. Just type in Xbox. You're going to have a bunch of retards gathering around saying Xbox is dead. They're all going to say the same thing. They're going to have the clown emoji, and they're going to have the laughing gif, and they're going to be like 75 million sold, or they'll have some kind of chart. It's like, chart, look at my chart, guys, this is a chart. Or they'll spam it with every fucking post over and over and over, and they're very, 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 very easily triggered. They go the first on the attack. You're like, yeah, you said this. Well, fuck off. I didn't say that. PlayStation's great. Clown, seethe, cope. You're the ones that are clowns. You don't want to put your publisher to task. All you say is good things about them. You don't want to talk about the bad things. This is why the industry is broken. Nobody wants to hold these big corporations that make things you play better. You don't want that. You want the same and same and same. I'm sorry, I take a look at the DNA of the PlayStation experience right now, and it's all the same. Same with Xbox for the most part. Xbox has been putting more stuff out that's different to varying success. I know people immediately started attacking Avowed, which I haven't played. I bought it. I haven't played it yet. I was excited for it. Anymore, I don't even look at like mainstream journalism. I take a look like, well, IGN gave it a 10. I don't care about that shit. Because it doesn't make me enjoy the game even anymore. Like, I'm going through right now playing games that I never played. Like, right now I'm playing Zone of the Enders. Never played that series. Because there's nothing really coming out now that interests me. And I'm not going to play through the same old slop that was just released a couple years ago. I'm not going to play the remaster over and over. Maybe if it's 10 or 20 years ago, yeah. But I'm not going to play a remaster of a PS4 game I beat 3 years ago. I don't see a point of it. I did buy the $10 upgrade, though, for Days Gone, because I like Sony Bend. I would like to see another Days Gone, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't see it. I think the biggest thing is, instead of crying all day about how Xbox is dead and not playing video games, or buying the video games that's only exclusive to your box, which you're not. You're buying third-party games. That's all you're playing. Third-party and free-to-play shit. Live service stuff. You're not buying your own first-party IPs. And the ones that you are definitely underwhelming. It seems like they stopped caring as much because there's not really as much competition And we've seen cocky PlayStation before. If you guys remember, the PlayStation 3 came off the highly successful, one of the biggest consoles ever made, the best console ever made, in my opinion, PlayStation 2. Sold more consoles than, I don't know, Kellogg's has cornflakes. What was it, 150 million? Some crazy ass number. It's 150 or 170. And Nintendo Switch is, I think it's a second place right now. It may overtake the PlayStation 2. But they came off of that. That was really cocky. They had a very expensive console that was very cocky against the player base, saying, you need to save up to buy our games, our game system. That was missing a lot of features. There wasn't very many games for it. And for quite a few years, Deal was actually falling behind before the fire from the Xbox 360 was lit under Sony's ass, and they started creating bangers. Killzone, Infamous, Uncharted, The Last of Us, Killzone. Did I already say Killzone? Sackboy. That's what whenever some people say, like, hey, I miss the old Sony, that's what we're talking about. We liked it when Sony actually competed. But right now, they're at a point where they don't have to. They have really no competition when it comes to the hardware space. They don't have much competition either when it comes to software. Because they have the support of third-party studios. They have to cancel all these games that they spent tons of money on. And, Concord being one, that's a $400 million mistake. That's not counting all the other games that's already been in active development. And not counting the games that may come out but are going to fail. I don't see the game like Fair Games or the Gummy Bear thing or Marathon. These games might not do good. And what does that paint a picture on PlayStation's first-party studios? It's not good. And you should be demanding better. Same for Xbox. Same for Nintendo. Take a look at Nintendo right now. They released Pokemon, Scarlet, and whatever. And they've done a lot of remasters of Wii U games, which was highly unsuccessful. And that's what happens. Like, Nintendo came off, they was pretty cocky about the Wii. Right out the Wii U, they didn't give it enough marketing. And you can say it about Xbox. Ever since the Xbox One era, that their marketing has been quite shit. But here's the thing. Nintendo came out of that, made the switch, and started doing banger after banger. Pretty much every single one of their first IP games that sold on the Switch has sold over 1 million copies. Some even more than that. Like tens of millions of copies. And Nintendo doesn't have to compete anymore. And that's the way it is for PlayStation right now. They are in a comfortable spot where they can basically be a monopoly when it comes to the home console space, the machine you put on your TV. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I know some people don't want Xbox to exist, but that's the reason we want Xbox or some other competitor, maybe Steam, Valve. They'll come out and be like, hey, we have a Valve console. But right now, we have a push right now where multi-platform is a really viable option, considering that all these games cost $300 to $400 million to create. So they have to have some kind of return on investment, and that's why you're seeing games going multi-plat. And yes, by the way, when you take a game from a exclusive platform like the PlayStation 5 and put it on PC, or put a first-party IP on the Switch, that is, in fact, first steps of third-party publishing. It's just facts. It's just the way it's going to be. I think the way the gaming industry is going, especially if we see Grand Theft Auto 6 come out over $100, we're going to be in a really shitty situation. And I love my gaming. I love PlayStation. It's in my fucking blood. Xbox in my blood. Nintendo in my blood. PC in my blood. I love video games. I'm one of those guys that have video game themed tattoos. Like, what the fuck? I love video games. Generally love them. First party IPs from PlayStation. It's one of the greatest games ever made. The first Last of Us, the second one not so much. Killzone was my favorite. Medieval. So, like, PlayStation has a huge history that turned me into the gamer that I am today. I don't want none of these companies to go away. And I'm not going to pretend to tell you that something is good when in my heart I know it's not. I'm not going to say everything's all fine and dandy. The state of play it was bad. It was really bad. Like, there was some good games that were shown there, and I even said that. But that's not why I'm watching these events for. And for you to question my intelligence about these things says a whole lot about you and how insecure you are with what somebody says about a state of play. That doesn't make sense. And you're putting your hate and your anger towards something that's should be below you, honestly. When somebody has an opinion about something that you don't like, sure, question it. But don't try to tell them to think a certain way. This isn't communism. This isn't censorship. I'm not doing that. We're not going to give the only narrative. We're going to give every narrative. We're going to give every opinion, good or bad. That's the way we need to be as a gaming community. We need to hold these publishers, these developers, we need to hold them to a certain degree of accountability. We want them to do better. We want better games. And I want to say this, in 20 years from now, I expect to be playing PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo and PC games everywhere. I don't want my favorite studios to close down. I don't want these places to go away. As much as you hate them, or say you hate them, and by the way, these guys keep on saying that Xbox is dead and 75 million PlayStation consoles are sold. Here's the thing. Anybody that was going to buy an Xbox at this point has bought an Xbox. You're not going to see much more movement on that. I don't think there's ever going to be a time, unless PlayStation really fucks up and Xbox decides to do some kind of huge game-changing banger. I don't think you're ever going to see a case where Xbox is going to sell over 30 million consoles again. The Xbox 360 spoke to a lot of people. It did what people wanted. And with the severely bad marketing and decisions that went from the Xbox 360 that followed into the Xbox One and the Xbox Series era, it made it bad. It made it bad. And you're playing catch up, spending a lot of money on these publishers and stuff, and now they're a third-party company. Of course, they're still doing hardware, and I'll be there for day one. To me, you should be loving the video games, not the plastic box and the company that doesn't care about you. The whole system war bullshit. It's cringe. It's stupid. And the people that has their whole personality made out of this, being so smug, looking down at people but play on a different plastic box as if they're some kind of peasant. That's fucking stupid to me. It's really dumb. You're 50, you're 30, you're 40. You're not 10. So shut the fuck up, tell the truth, and hold these companies accountable. If you see something bad, say it's bad. Don't be afraid to do that. Don't fucking fake it. If somebody puts some crazy bullshit out in your video game that you don't like some woke propaganda or anything like that, call them out. If they don't bring out games that you want, call them out. If they keep publishing things that you hate, or keep on putting remasters out that you hate, use your fucking wallet. Just do it. It's easy. Very easy. But that's enough for me. Sorry for the rambling. It was a whole lot longer than I expected. I do appreciate your time. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And Sir Bruv, ABG, awesome. See you guys later.